realizing that he has tapeworm, so it's gonna be pretty tough to eat. I went to the doctor and he said it is more than likely that I have tapeworm. I'm going to the bathroom nonstop. My stomach is killing me. He prescribed me 3 different medications that are anti-parasitic.
Gen Z is making their stamp. I love it when people do some dumb.
Let's go fishing in the hurricane. I'm gonna be using a whopper flopper, which is a topwater lure. This guy's coming in at 13 inches and a quarter. He has some nice fillets on him. There's no minimum length required for a largemouth bass, so as long as you catch one, you can keep it and eat it.
This is Nick Kratka. And I could be butchering his name, but that's okay because we're just gonna be calling him Nick. Nick is a content creator and overall TikTok enthusiast. A true TikTok success story.
Behind me is a colony of sea lions, and if I were to get too close, they can all eat me.
With millions of followers and millions of views, he's done better than a lot of people that I've covered. But possibly, Nick might have recorded some of the dumbest things to ever be placed on the platform of TikTok.
Can you name a country on this map? Texas.
Before Nick became famous, he would start off like us regular guys on TikTok. He would just record regular videos of him wrestling and doing random TikTok trends.
Go.
With his girlfriend, his moms, whoever. Doing nice guy things. Nick was one hell of a character.
All right, guys, I just hit 50,000 followers, and for that, I'm gonna go ahead and break my dad's windshield with a rock. This should do. Later, dad's windshield.
Nick was enjoying himself, doing his thing on TikTok, finding his lane, finding his niche. But that was the TikTok world, unfortunately. In the real world, where things actually do exist, something would occur. Something would happen to Nick that would be super traumatic, that will evidently, ultimately change his life forever. Nick will get robbed, and then get his ass whooped.
I just got the shit beaten out of me.
Damn!
And my mom has not seen anything yet. She hasn't seen my face, my black eye, my fat lips. So this is her reaction.
Hi, son!
Hello.
How's my boy? What the happened to you?
It was this past Friday. I had woken up to a phone call from one of my buddies asking if I wanted to go downstairs and box with everyone. I said yes, absolutely, I love boxing. A little bit before going over to box, I was advertising $200 worth of fishing equipment over Snapchat. Someone had told me that they were interested in it, and I said, awesome, slide to my place after boxing, you could come grab it. Boxing ends, I tell the kid to slide, he's on his way, he's coming. When he arrives at my apartment complex, I tell him to make a left turn onto a one-way street at the stop
How do I stop it from zooming in on his eye?
sign. I also informed him that I wasn't wearing a shirt and that I had his fishing equipment in my hand and that he wouldn't be able to miss me. I get downstairs and I realize where I told the kid to make a left, he had made a U-turn. So I call him back and I say, hey, you were supposed to make a left down that street. And he said, oh yeah, my bad, no problem. I'm gonna make a left right now. So he goes and makes another U-turn and makes a left, and now he's on this one-lane street with just me. Little did I know that original U-turn was to drop someone off so that they can mug me from behind. So I see this big black
Here it comes. Almost there.
pickup truck coming towards me, and I just get ready to do a deal, you know? I had the fishing equipment in my hand, and I had noticed that there was a white female driving, a Spanish or white male in the passenger seat, and an African American male in the back left seat to who I was supposed to be doing the deal with.
As you can see, I'm getting robbed.
When the car pulled up to me, the female didn't even look at me. She just kept her eyes forward and her hands straight. That probably should have been my first hint, but I've never been robbed before. I didn't really think much of it. I kind of just went to the back to who I was doing the deal with.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
The male in the back seat lowers the window and starts talking to me. I noticed that he has some money in his hand and I have product in my hand, but I didn't want to hand him the product because I didn't want them to just drive off without me getting my money.
You making me nervous. You making me think that you gonna snitch.
At this point, the male takes off his coronavirus mask, and for those of you that know me, I'm a severe asthmatic. So I step back a few feet because I'm actually very afraid of getting the coronavirus.
You're a fucking nerd.
He asked me how much it would cost for 100 lures, and little did I know that was just a distraction for what happened next. Someone had come up from behind me and ganked me from behind. They had hit me in the head so hard that they had fractured several bones in my face, as well as given me a concussion on the spot. My assailant from behind attempted to put me in a chokehold from behind, but those of you that know I have a wrestling background, I kind of spun out of that in maybe 2 seconds. But at this point, it was all instinct. My first instinct was to grab my product that I had dropped off the ground and run away from the situation. When I went to go pivot and run, I had tripped. I'm pretty sure I got knocked out at this point because the next thing I remember, I was looking down at myself all bloody. There was blood all over my hands, face, I was in a pool of it. And someone was on top of me just patting down my pockets. And when I looked him from head to toe and met his eyes, he just said, "Give me all your shit." So this man was just standing on top of me, patting down my pockets. It felt extremely routine for him because he was on my pockets so quickly once I was on the ground. As he was patting down my pockets, I saw a chance to reattack. But at that same time that I saw a chance to reattack, someone else had hopped out of the car and I thought they were coming to beat the shit out of me as well. At this point, I completely submitted and said, "Here, just take all my shit, take it." And he was trying to get into my pockets to find my keys and phone, but I wouldn't let him. At this point, they collected all the fishing lures off of the ground, got in the car, and peeled out.
It really sucks to be gullible in a world full of evil. Nick got robbed for not paying attention and not watching the red flags. Something like this should not have occurred. And I feel bad for Nick that he had to experience such a traumatic event. This is crazy. And I'm glad that this resulted in good news.
What's up, guys? So this morning I woke up to the best phone call probably of my entire life. I got a call from a police officer saying that the gentleman that had hit me had turned himself in.
But the thing I'm trying to run, well, you know what? We at the bail bondsman right now. I'm gonna go turn myself in, you feel me? We're gonna get this little petty ass the way, alright?
Obviously, I was super excited about that, but there was something I didn't really like. I asked him what the charge was, and the charge is only robbery. Now, in my opinion, when you rob someone, it's like, "Hey, give me your shit or I'll beat the fuck out of you." That wasn't the situation. This dude opened with, "How are you?" So we're gonna try to see what's up with that. I mean, I think it should be at least battery, aggravated assault, premeditated robbery, if that's even a charge, but he's caught.
Get out of this shit, man. Shit, we free at last, baby.
All jokes aside, I hope Nick is okay. Because of him posting this traumatic event, he gained a massive audience and he will still continue to shoot TikTok videos throughout this time.
Here's an overview of my head. This is my normal eye. It's supposed to have like air in there. That's why you don't really see any gray area. This is what my eye looks like. It's filled with blood. And then on top of that, I think my cheekbone might be indented. But aside from that, I'm good to go. And those are my CAT scan results.
After these unforeseen shenanigans, Nick will have to be forced to check into a hotel. He didn't feel safe at home anymore. He had to change his environment just to feel safer. But this hotel definitely wasn't any better.
We got cops. LAS.
What's your date of birth?
March 8th, 2000.
He will end up having another encounter with police, but this time not having to do with him. He will end up having to play Captain Saver.
Thank God the cops showed up when they did. For those of you that don't know, I've been staying in a hotel for the last couple of weeks until I move into my new place. A few nights ago, a couple checked in one door down from me. So let's say I'm 852, they were 853. The first couple of nights I was here, I heard some arguing and yelling, but I never really thought to call the cops on them. Every once in a while, the room would shake, but it just kind of sounded like they were throwing things across their room and that nothing was really going on in ways of domestic violence. Then 2 nights ago, I heard a scream from the girl, and I was considering calling the cops because it was pretty loud, but I wound up not calling the cops because it had settled down afterwards. But come yesterday morning at 6 a.m., that was a different story. I was woken up by screams of terror from this girl, saying for someone to please call the police and to get off of me. I'd called the police the second I woke up. After that, I placed my ear against the wall just in case anything crazy was going on and I would have to intervene in any way. And all I'm thinking was, damn, should I have called the cops the night before?
Forget wrong place at the wrong time. By the good graces, Nick was there to make sure that the situation was handled properly. Anybody else could have fumbled this problem, but Nick knew exactly what to do. He had the steps accordingly, and Nick solved the problem.
I'm gonna paint a picture for you right now. Imagine that this is my hotel room door and this is theirs. They are maybe 2 feet apart, very, very close. Now, by the time the cops got here, the man was outside of his hotel room banging on the door as loud as he could. The cops had told him to freeze or they would shoot, but he did not listen and he started walking across the balcony in a fast motion. The whole time I'm just thinking like, oh my god, I'm about to witness someone get shot. Ultimately, the cops assumed authority of the situation, but this part got to me. Since I was the one that called the cops, they wanted to speak to me, so they banged on my door and had me open up. They asked if I was the one that called the cops right in front of the guy. So this dude is tatted up, just giving me the death stare, and I'm like, yeah, I called the cops. And they start questioning me right in front of the guy. Aside from that, he did get arrested, domestic violence did take place, and everyone's safe.
Well, thank God Nick was there to save the day, because if he wasn't, I couldn't imagine how this would have gone. Nick is a true vigilante, somebody who can grab life by the horns and just control the bull. Nick, you deserve an applause. You are a true hero in this situation. But, like any other superhero, Superman will have to hang up his cape. Nick will have to become Clark Kent. And eventually, he will move out of the hotel that he's in into a better situation to shoot newer content for TikTok.
So I just got into this new place, and...
Psych! Nick would yet again find himself in another situation where it would involve law enforcement again.
They got bomb squads and dogs out here because my boy was late to a flight. I swear the dogs were just here. They even had the tow truck guy pull.
Beyond this point, Nick is just a regular TikToker. No more saving people. The vigilante work is completed. And from here on out, he will have an unhealthy relationship with his dentist. A few dentists to be exact.
Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth before I see my queen. Wow, who are you? Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth before I see my queen. Wow, who are you? Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth before I see my queen. Wow, who are you?
Enough to make a series about it on TikTok. 315 episodes of teeth and dentists.
Have you been flossing?
Yeah, I'm actually really good about flossing.
Really? Then what is this? Hey Nick.
Yeah, what's up?
If me and your girl were hanging off a cliff, who would you save and why?
Can my girl wipe my teeth like you can?
Hell no.
Then she could die.
She could die.
These videos gain millions of views. I don't know what it is with people and dentists, but people love doctors and dentists. He found his niche, and he continued to do this for quite some time, actually.
So, Nick. I was thinking you could do something to earn my trust.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Maybe I should take a leap of faith. Maybe we could go on a walk tomorrow.
But the world wasn't quite done with him just yet. Nick would find himself in quite the pickle this time.
If I would have had a gun, who knows how this situation would have turned out. This morning I woke up pretty early to get some errands done, and after my errands I stopped at a gas station because I needed some gas and other miscellaneous things. So I started engaging in conversation with the store clerk, and as I'm speaking with her, someone comes in from behind. Now, I didn't really notice, but I noticed the store clerk did pay a lot of attention to him. As I'm talking, this guy goes to the back, he's looking at Gatorade and stuff, and this lady's kind of keeping a close eye on him. He's keeping his head low, something sketchy. At this point in the transaction, I had already paid her and I was waiting for my change. As I'm waiting, this guy comes up behind me and whips out a gun. He doesn't say anything. I'm just standing there like... I start thinking about what the best plan of action is. I start doing math in my head. It's 9 a.m. There are a bunch of people outside. Cops will probably be here. If cops aren't here, what am I going to do? Am I going to get robbed? Am I going to get shot? What's going on? The lady, on the other hand, looks like she's been robbed 100 times. She's unfazed. Doesn't give a shit. I even consider doing one of those things in the movies where like you grab the gun like that, but I refrain. After maybe the longest 5 to 7 seconds of my life of this guy just pointing a gun at this lady's head, he just decides, fuck this whole thing, and takes off.
Now this situation right here is a little bit convoluted and does have some loopholes. But this isn't my story, this is Nick's story, and I'm gonna tell it how it is. But thankfully, he came out of this one unscathed and he learned quite the lesson.
That's the level of not giving a shit I want to have.
You'll definitely get your chance to not give a shit, Nick. Don't worry about that one.
Eel pie right now? Look at those eels. Oh no! Oh, they're getting out! We got him!
Now, after this whole gas station debacle, Nick will stretch his dentistry content to its limbs, and his views will start to decline over some time. That rhymed, by the way. And usually and unfortunately, this is due to sticking to a niche for so long. His audience was starting to get bored and he was starting to look boring. But Nick knew this.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
He wasn't receiving the praise or the millions of views like he used to. He was dipping down low into the 100K to 200K and now in control of a poor man's TikTok. Nick needed something. He needed to be refreshed. And Nick was starting to become adventurous.
We went fishing and you won't believe what we caught. It took us 40 minutes to get 600 feet deep, and in my head I'm like, okay, we'll probably each catch 2 or 3 fish, we'll have a good day. Most of what we caught for the day are red snapper, vermilion snapper, and those are actually really good to eat. Overall, super good day.
With finding himself on the boat now, this would be the place where Nick will ponder and concoct the next phase and plan for his TikTok journey. Here he'll discover a very popular niche in the content creation world, catch and cook.
Let's go catch dinner. There are a bunch of iguanas on this seawall right here, so I'm about to go snorkel for them and see if we can't snag them. Give me a head. This is a lot of fun. Season it, pan fry it, and before we know it, it'll be put on a dish. Yo, this batch is good, I'm not even kidding.
This getting out of hand. If I gotta catch it or cook it, I don't want it.
I'm gonna be catching and cooking the extremely poisonous puffer fish. Chefs that have had years of training literally have like an 18% death rate on these things.
But as you can tell, this catch and cook is going pretty well for Nick. All the millions of views that he's missed, he's gained it back. And he's managed to hit the algorithm on the head yet again. The praise that his audience gave him is back again. And his audience is back with a vengeance. This man will even travel outside his realm of Florida to further his knowledge of catch and cook. He'll travel to the open seas in Maryland, and he'll travel to the oceans of San Francisco just to taste their sweet meat.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? I'm in San Francisco catching and cooking different species, and tonight on the menu are monkey face eels. Oh, so my dog finally got an eel. Let's go. This is the finished result. I definitely need some cooking lessons. I added sushi rice, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Monkey face eel taste test. Let's see how we did. Since I don't know what I'm doing and it comes out like this, anyone can do it. You can do it too. I'm gonna finish eating this in peace, but I would really encourage you to go out there and see what you're able to catch and eat. You might be surprised.
He'll even discover a talent for being a savior to the less fortunate.
Went to McDonald's and I met all these
Here it comes. Almost there.
people right now. They are dope. Check this out. Y'all want some french fries? Yeah! I'll get all you guys some food. Let's go. Let's go.
Into the mouth. Nice.
Nick was doing his thing, becoming the best catch and cook TikTok has ever seen. But while gorging on the fish of San Francisco Bay, that wasn't enough for him. He needed to step it up a notch. He needed to let the world know it gets better than this.
Me eating venomous worms with fangs on them. They are venomous. Oh my god. I did just find my first bloodworm. They have venomous fangs, so if they bite... Oh, that's his proboscis. It just shot out. One of them just shot its proboscis at me. I don't know which side his proboscis is on, so we're just gonna take it out of the middle. Would you believe me if I told you it wasn't that bad? Oh.
But because of this extreme eating, catch, and cook, Nick will find himself in quite the devastating situation yet again. And this time, this problem might be harder to get out of.
Realizing that he has tapeworm, so it's going to be pretty tough to eat. I looked it up, and apparently if you cook the fish thoroughly, the tapeworm shouldn't affect you, but I can't say that I'm not experiencing problems after I ate it. This is the fillet I got. I seasoned it, threw it in the pan, and then presented it right next to the tapeworms, which was a mistake. Yo, low-key, like, the tapeworms add some flavor. They're pretty good. This might be TMI. It's been 2 days, and I've not stopped going to the bathroom. I'm kind of afraid that I literally have tapeworms in my stomach. I've never gone to the bathroom this much in my life. I'm mildly concerned. Going to the bathroom nonstop. My stomach is killing me. He prescribed me 3 different medications that are anti-parasitic. We've all seen that video of the bear that has, like, a 50-foot tapeworm coming out of his butt, and that literally could have been me if I didn't get to the doctor in time.
7:30 this morning, Nick passed away at the Kaiser Hospital. I was with him over the last 24 hours, and he wanted me to inform you guys on the situation. Nick was on anti-parasitic medication, and unfortunately it was not working. The worm spread to his eyes and brain. By the time we made it to the hospital, it was clear that Nick was not going to be able to make it, and the medical team decided to give him pain medication until he passed away. Tomorrow Eternal Funeral Services is where we're going to be hosting something for Nick at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. It is going to be an open casket, so this is something that you might not be able to deal with. This is your heads up now. The address is right here on the screen. If there's one lesson we can learn from Nick, it is to not eat tapeworm. He really cared about you guys, and he wanted you to know. Hopefully you guys could all remember him fondly, and I'll be seeing you guys all at the service.